say hello, Gill, to our virtual audience? This is,
oh my God,
how y'all doing? And we've got OLHSA, and could you tell us something that you're doing with your newly appointed president?
Oh my goodness, yes, newly appointed president of the school board for my second term. This is my second go around. I'm very excited about that. I'm also very excited about what we have going on in the school district. Excited the fact that we were $52 million in a deficit, and now going into 22-23 school year, we got over $62 million in infrastructure and renovations that we want to do.
Wow.
And so that is just, that's just an amazing in itself. The second part of one of my, I think this is my closest. We've always talked about career, CTE programs, getting people into workforce development, things of that nature. So we created 4 career pathways, from business and entrepreneurship, the STEM programs, the mechanical engineering, medical, which is our CNS program. So it's like kids now are going to get those 21st century jobs if we're ready for them. You know, and it's just like having OTEC. But we're not, we still have our 90 seats at OTEC. We still have our partnership, but now we have it in-house now.
Oh,
so
wow.
Students now, as they graduate and get their certifications in these various areas, they can just go and say, hey, I want to take off and I want to do this. I want to go into business and entrepreneurship. So I have associates in that. And then the resurgence of basically the Pontiac Promise Zone. You know, kids are getting $39,000, up to $39,000.
Wow.
Towards any trade or degree. So like so many things that's happening in the Pontiac School District I'm excited about. I work with some amazing board members. We have an amazing superintendent that's consistently always pushing ahead to find out what can we do now, what can we do next. So now one of our main focus is early childhood. You know, when you get them early and you understand that education process from at least K through 3rd grade is so important that you got to get that in there. So we want to introduce STEM to early childhood. So those kids can learn and they can adapt for that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm great. I'm super excited about that. I'm also always, you know, I'm in a community here. So, you know, I live here, work here, play here, and I tell people I get the vibe here. So this is my spot. And I thank everybody for being online. I don't know which camera we're looking at, but thank you for being online and for joining us and making sure that you're in tune and you're in touch. Again, my name is Gill, Garrett. I'm on every social media platform you can probably think of. But my direct cell phone number is 248-892-8200. I also work at the Oakland County Sheriff Department and Community Policing, which we're going to release. I haven't said this yet. We have a new community room that's coming real soon that we have partnered with an engineering firm that's going to pretty much done. And so it's where parents can do parent exchanges. It's where tutors can come in and say, hey, I don't have a place I can tutor a kid. You can come into the substation. You can tutor a kid in this room, and I'll send you guys the renderings over for that. So as we continue to release that, you know, you can share on that. So I'm just all community, and this is what we're about, man. This is why we're doing this.
Okay, so Gill.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a design thinking platform going in the background, and we're taking in ideas that might not be, we know you've got these wonderful things going now, but we also were talking about some things that could be potential as connected to Parking Day being a street-centered, child-friendly city center exercise. Like, we have no kids in our downtown. And we were talking with Bonnie, who's joining us for the library.
I see.
And she was talking about
Councilwoman Shramski.
Councilwoman Shramski was talking about how kids could learn about the buildings and the history. And then Bonnie was talking about how maybe they could take the trail and learn in nature. And we were talking about STEM and STEAM, about immersive learning maybe on the trail. And there's a whole 15-minute city development concept that's going on around the world right now. Like in Paris, the mayor she's banning automobiles from the city center and making it all walkable and kid-friendly and all that. And so we've got this small little tiny 6x9 block grid. And it's also part of the Barcelona super block. And all of these things are new ideas that are in the world, and we think kids should be part of it, and maybe they could even advocate for their city becoming part of that.
Well, I definitely spend a lot of time downtown. Just recently became the lead videographer for the Strand Theater. So I get to spend a lot of time. I've been downtown since 2009. I had a photography studio right here.
Yeah, we
Yeah, so we had to recreate some things and started creating workable workspaces for people who are just up and coming, right?
Yeah.
That's taking place down here. Is I love the idea of the scooters, and I also love the idea that we have parents that live downtown that at night when there's not as much traffic, they take bike rides.
Right.
And so that kind of hits to your point of having spots that kids can go to that they can learn from, that they can just say, hey, look, I didn't know this building was this. I didn't, this summer we experienced that as well too. We had maybe about 4 or 5 kids that would come down from the neighborhood and say, kind of going to this Eastway walkway right here and just kind of sit around and speak with themselves, because that's kind of what kids do, right? Kids kind of come around and they don't know how to be standoffish, right? They're not taught that there's barriers, right? And so they kind of get with each other and they're like, you know what? I don't want to be in the wedding. I don't want to be at the reception. I want to go hang out. And they go into these little easeways, and I've seen it as a police officer, and they're having conversations and they talk. So they're talking already. They're using the space. But to your point, how can we make it more direct? And how can we get more kids to be? So I like what we already have going on. I think building to that and putting visual things that they can relate to, that they say, hey, it's me. Like when they put in this little easeway mark here, because you guys can't see this, but there is actually coloring tubes, and the tube actually makes sound. And so various sounds. Everybody just thinks they're just cold, but kids look at them and they sound. And like I say, when they skateboard and hide, in that park, they're using that type of stuff. So they relate it to, hey, this is here for me. Like when I come down, when I'm walking out the door and I want lunch, oh, Fillmore 13, it's here for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so kids want to see that too. So I think if we could definitely kind of work that into a system that you can manage. We know exactly when we're going to get traffic and when we don't get traffic down here because of just the influx of people that's coming in and moving inside of the city.
Right.
Like, so during the peak hours of like 4 and 6, of course, you're not going to have anything like that. But after 6, during the summertime, sunsets and that are awesome.
Yeah.
So from 3 hours, you got kids that are able to come down and enjoy some things. And then even if you had a water feature, this park is equipped to have a water feature.
It is, yes.
And so
it's part of a Kaboom grant that we have.
So people don't know that. People didn't understand that. But if you had a water feature, I guarantee you're going to get more traffic with kids and parents just enjoying downtown.
Exactly.
And
like
so
whoever thought to put the tree in.
Instead of repairing it, they thought it would be a big enough thing to do instead of repairing it and then put flowers on it. But it's actually water feature.
Yeah.
So you turn it into a water feature and have kids a splash park, splash pad, or something like that. You can really enjoy it. And then multi-use for multiple people. We're a very diverse community.
Yes.
I know we've heard a lot of things about what's going on and things of that nature, but this is a very diverse community. We have over 10 different languages that's spoken in Pontiac. We have over 14 different cultures that's inside of Pontiac. So it's not more than just black and white. So it's more than just, your basic, hey, this is a black community or a white community. No, we are diverse, and that's what makes us very unique in the city. And that's why I'm still drawn here. Just had my first, I didn't have him, but my son is now a dad, and so I'm a grandpa. So my son used to run up and down these streets. Child gets to run up and down the street. So I will be pushing for a splash pad because I'm a little older, so I need breaks. I need to sit down and let him burn off that energy, when he comes for the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, but I see this. I love how this the OLHSA education and health and human, like I see these different walkways, the different varieties of things that you have.
This is the 15-minute city neighborhood model, and the basic concept is, can you walk or bike within 15 minutes and get your needs met?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's real simple. Everyone can understand, and you can do community engagement and take in ideas. And Anita Barksdale she was going to join us today. She's been doing a group walking and asking, how do you feel safe? You're in community policing, and gosh, that merger of those two, education in your field.
15 minutes, like I'm going past the police station.
Right, I know.
I'm 15 minutes. I'm at a.
Right.
right? So I'm center of downtown. I'm at Updike.
Yeah.
If I'm going south 15 minutes, I'm at Square Lake.
Yeah.
Probably past Square Lake. 15 minutes. That's what.
Yeah. Biking and walking?
Biking.
For biking.
You said 15 minutes, right?
Yep.
I can get to Square Lake in 15 minutes. I can get to Updike.
Right.
I may be touching Kennett if I take Oakland. Man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You right now we can get our needs.
Yeah.
Man, it's just getting people to understand that you can do it.
Yeah, and with the federal investments that are coming in, like even recreating the corner store in the neighborhoods, like that people can walk, and there's more people working from home and learning from home.
Yes.
Now,
especially now. Yeah.
And dual. How do you get more density of services in the neighborhoods with the investments of the federal government? We're having that conversation today at 2:30. We're going to walk down to the Phoenix Center bus stop. Okay. And State Rep Brenda Carter is joining us, and State Senator Rosemary Baer. So I hope if you can join, that would be amazing. Okay. And I
used to ride that bus. I'm a neighbor from Detroit.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, I love riding the bus. Yeah. I mean, we need better transportation in Michigan and more transit advocates. And there's so much. There's a lot of rethinking and reimagining of the system, like more hyper-local services, like the last mile kind of connections, and the smart community partnership program we worked on with Donna for a long time.
Okay, you guys been busy.
There's 140,000 in the city budget for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
And so those are all just things to consider. And we thought of the Phoenix Center bus stop as maybe a potential project for kids to redesign, to think of. Then they can use their creativity skills and their real world project-based learning skills to maybe come up with a solution for
sure
that center.
Listen, these kids, right now, even when I got a chance to, I did a lot of home visits when we were in the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And so our kids struggled a lot at first, virtually, because not because they couldn't work the equipment, it was just the connectivity between me learning and watching my teacher on the screen. And it wasn't the fact that they wasn't using the screen. You could put a 1-year-old in front of the iPad, they'll run you through all types of things, but it's the adjusting to how they were learning.
Instructional model change.
You know, exactly. So in which the whole world came to a determination that being in front of a group is the best way for anybody to learn, right? So we changed that switches up. You kept it virtually, you get them on there, you get them online, you get these iPads in front of them. And then my kindergartners were like, we started adding programs in there where we can adjust to, okay, we want to have classroom time, because we still had to, go into 6 hours of instruction time in the school year, right? So even though it was in the middle of the pandemic, you can only be in front of that screen for 6 hours. So they chopped it up though and made it to a point where kids were now using the same iPads to create their thoughts or explain what they were going to do, having things that, to empower youth things of that nature.
So we want to bring the design thinking model there, that's sticky notes digitally into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So that everyone can be placed on a learning by doing model.
Yeah.
24/7, 365. Remember, 24/7, 365. Not just in this segment, this segment, at their choice. And they have way to provide thoughts and answers to questions.
That's a good thing. That's always a. I mean, we do it now. Like I know I use it with my iPads. Like I don't use a lot of paper now, but I have digitally sticky notes. Even when we were all forced to team up to go into think mode, think tanks to say, okay, look, what problem solve over here? Like we had to come with concepts to say, okay, you were thinking this, you were thinking here, and so with that being said, I mean, we were forced into it, and I think this is a great time to really kind of stay consistent.
So now we have graphical organizers that give the brain information immediately. We get a graphical organizer. Okay, and it has a vision and an end. So it has a beginning and an end. So the rest is what we think about.
If anybody has any questions for Gill too.
Yeah, if you got any questions, let me know.
Come on in.
Jump right in.
I'm going to show the graphical organizers Jim was talking about.
Yeah.
So this is how kids learn that.
So this is a journey, kind of.
That's definitely how my
It
son.
starts with the journey, like what's our purpose? What are our principles? What's the objectives? You know, and it changes with everybody's.
Oh yeah,
different
inputs and
Everybody's
results.
on the same page.
But
And depending on
everyone-
what your results are too.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
But because you have this consistent roadmap, you can always go back. To say that if whatever came out of the conclusion of my results, do I need to go back to my ground? Do I need to reactivate my participation?
Oh man, we're gonna have
there's
fun
the
with it.
vision. That's where you
And
start.
then you
Yeah.
start with vision. What's our core
Timing up.
intention? So
Start
parking day.
contexting, right?
Yeah.
So that shapes in the brain what we're after, where we're going, and then the game plan.
You're like me. I'm so used to being in front of my Prometheus board at home, and I get to touch the screen. I see a mouse, and I be like, "What?"
You know, there's the game plan. So we're working our way towards the goals. All in one page.
Yeah.
And everybody has access. Kids are really good at this. Adults, that's not much.
Well,
You know why that is. You know why that is.
Because different generations come with different thought processes and methodology about how they learn and why they should learn.
Our model was being told.
Yes.
Right. The model today is being asked.
Yeah. I always say that's a slippery slope.
Well, it is a slippery slope.
Because with kids, they still need structure.
Absolutely.
And they still need to be able to identify what the structure and the authority structure is. Sure. Because a lot of times, sometimes I'm looking at when I go into my early childhood program over across, right? And I like to spend time with them. You know, them my babies, them like that K through second grade, right? So I go over there.
This is supposed to be a job.
No, this is not a job. We're gonna keep it. It's a job. I'm sharing stuff now. I forgot that the camera was on. I'm sharing stuff now that I have not shared. Like, unless people really kind of give me, I am, excuse the term, but I term it to myself. I am a nerd for thought, right? Because I was one of those kids that did not always have the ability to have things right in front of me, so I had to create something, right? So I even took myself through my own study when I became a police officer of why I act the way that I act or do the things that I do, right? Because structurally, you have to help people. So it's easy for me to shut off my feelings of abandonment and not having parents, and you know, my parents coming from drug use and be in and out of just different homes and dope houses and things of that nature. I'm a police officer. That doesn't mean those things never happen, and it doesn't mean I ever dealt with it. It just means now I got to shut them off and deal with you. So shutting them off and dealing with you over time only prolongs the healing process. Because this will catch up with you, right? And you need other people to help you walk your way through that process. Even though I'm a professional, I'm a police officer, and I'm here to serve, and I'm here to help you. And so you can turn that on and off,
Not worthy.
right? You can turn that on and off,
Yeah.
but it catches up with you, and you walk away feeling healed and whole. I'm released, and I just added to a baggage that I got to take with me to the next one. So that's why when we start talking about law enforcement and changing things and changing perspectives and thought process, secretly, I bring models like this in and talk with my colleagues about it to say that, listen, bro, I need you to take that vacation. I need you to take that release. And then I need you to come back to it. Or I need you to be a good teammate. Or I need to be a better teammate and take the release from you when I can identify that it's heavy. Right? So there's a lot of things, these type of models and what we have here and what we do in the type of games. Those little second and third graders, they get it. So when I go read to them, they'll go, when I say that we have to have the authority, and we talked about the strap down, I say, I'm coming to read. I got a second grader, but I want you to read this book. So I'm one of them. Well, why do you want me to read this book? Because it's my favorite book. I said, but it's not everybody's favorite book, but they will enjoy it. So now we bargaining. And that second grader is bartering for everybody else's to buy into their idea that this is the book. Okay, we want to read. We want to barter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So I go over there.
Can Gill Garrett have his own program?
His own program. He's doing thesis on design thinking Yes, the transportation. So she's here for that, and pieces will be somehow made. So yeah,
Because think about it.
Right, it is.
Pontiac is the place. She's in it.
man, that's awesome.
Have you ever thought about this?
Bonnie, do you hear that with their the nature program? And also, Lisa, are you with
Do you know Pontiac
Megan?
is the only place? I go out some country, I travel, I say, photography is taking me all over the world. The kids graduate, they get their driver's license and never caught a bus. The only bus they ever caught was when they go to the mall, they go to a job, they are carpooling with others who may be going that way, so they've never been on public transportation. They normally, and they normally don't get on public transportation until they're forced. So that means there's some kind of trauma behind the fact that something going on that they do get on it, and they're as adults at that time. Well, I think they started to in a sense. When I'm walking down Pike Street, because I like to walk, I see better things than I walk. So when I'm walking down Pike Street, I see a smart bus now coming down Pike Street, and they're picking up, and I'm just gonna say Miss Johnson. So now Miss Johnson can take the bus from Pike Street. She comes downtown. She go here and take her job to the home. So when the kids are going down Pike Street, because they sit on Pike Street, we have a lot of homes today. Yeah. She told me that. I'm gonna try to. Yeah. I'm gonna try to go to
address what happened. Because we've been negotiating for the smart to adopt that bus. And yet people don't recognize how deep you have to go. You have to go about 5.4 million. Not enough cleaning about building something. Yeah. And that's why.
Yeah, I'm trying to slide over here. I saw you guys over here, so I wanted to come.
Senator Garrett.
That's awesome. I love Senator Garrett. I love her. They listen. You can say whatever you want to about who has the authority or who has more votes. When you got people who have influence, you have people who can care and speak that care. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. It may take them longer because they may not have the majority, but it will get you to the desired end to say that this is better for everybody. So when I look at those two, and I look at what they've done in the state of Michigan, I'm very excited about having them represent Pontiac and represent myself. Like I say, my why now is my grandson.
I think we need
Josiah.
I think we need community unity there. Okay, on these issues, get that done. Otherwise, it's going to turn into some disagreement. I hate to say that.
Well, I think what's really taken out of context is that you really don't like. I talk to the people who are at the bus stop. So when you talk to the people who use the bus stop, it really takes away from the people who want to do something that they think should be at the bus stop. Right, because a person who's sitting at the bus stop, and if they're the winner,
done exactly.
Really is like, bro, I don't really want the door on this side. The hawk comes from across lot 9 if you're not sitting there with no barrier, which got us to where we're at now. But it's just everybody don't always use the bus stop all the time. Right. And so I know we see certain things. I know certain activities happen at the bus stop, but certain activities happen in the homes as well. So if you just want to isolate certain situations to just the bus stop, okay, let's talk to the people or the types of people who use the bus.
I think that's the case some people in every sense. We've got to go to the experts. The experts are the people that
no doubt. I just think that's a fair thing. I watch. There are actually people who park. Oh, you deserve it. Get on the bus. Because they don't want to deal with the industrial traffic.
Yeah.
Or park. But people don't know that. They just hear the bad. Like that's not all that ball.
It's the busiest bus stop.
I can live there.
So the other bus stop. So I get the transportation center in Detroit.
Oh, this is not as near. This is in Royal Oak. Yeah, this is what we do. Yeah. But we don't have as many. That transportation center, which is or something
that's very huge city. We're a little bit.
Maybe give us. two or three. Yeah, give us, make it look a little, because the smart, and I'm not a smart husband, but I do open up. I've opened up my studio. I've opened up, I love you. They need a face to face. Like that driver,